Good morning, Antigua and Barbuda, and good morning to the entire universe. This is day 4 of the Cricket West Indies 4-day championship, and we're live from Coolidge Cricket Ground, the home of Cricket West Indies. It's a day in which the umpires are walking out, and the standby umpire Bernard Joseph, along with one of the ground officials here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, is just going through the final processes of the 10 minutes rolling period. It is a lovely day in the West Indies Academy. They closed day 3 on 161 for 7, still requiring 268 runs. I say good morning to my colleague, Leon Manchad. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Vernon. Good morning to the entire Caribbean. Yes, tough ask for the West Indies Academy. 268 runs. They have the entire day to do so, but wickets in hand is it's the main issue. Tuckett's out there though. Tuckett really impressed yesterday after a lackluster first innings performance. He's really come to the party.
Day 3 was the Kevin Sinclair show, and Kevin Sinclair has now more or less motivated the defending champions, the Guyana Harpy Eagles, and you could see a more spirited Guyana Harpy Eagles yesterday. Even one of the highlights I think I would remember would have been 2 catches, one by Savory, and the other one would have been a beautiful catch to dismiss Teddy Bishop by Tej Chandapal in leg slip. And there was just an exuberance, just some observations in terms of what I would have seen. Even when Thorne was bowling, I didn't see Tevin Imla really go up and have a conversation with him as to ask him, what do you want? Sometimes it's good as a young player. Thorne is a young man, got some good pace, but he just sometimes just need that guidance. And I didn't see that coming out from the Guyana Harpy Eagles captain, Tevin Imla. But we're ready to go. What's your expectations? What do you think will be happening this morning?
But I think the Harpy Eagles are going to come out this morning and go hard at the West Indies Academy. They won't want this to last too long. This resistance that has been put up by Tuckett, and we saw a good innings from Jordan Johnson yesterday. Would have been unfortunate to be dismissed like before to Sinclair with a delivery that looked like it was just going down leg. So Johnson would be disappointed. Would be a bit upset about that, but it's looking like it's going to be Isaiah Thorne to start us off this morning from that CIU road end, which he bowled so well from yesterday. So aggressive and direct to the short balls, and when he did pitch the ball up, got a bit of movement, hit some good areas.
So the Guyana team, let's see what the plan will be for this morning's play. Is it 2 slips? I'm trying to figure out straight away. We know for sure that the fine leg is in position. Imla looking around. Let's see what's there. He's got a man. Perez is under the helmet, so we know for sure. In fact, Anderson is having a chat with him as well too. So they're looking like they want to bring Chandapal over onto the offside. Anderson and Imla, maybe with Thorne's pace. Mid-on, mid-off. Mid-off pretty close. Short man under the bat. Chandapal goes to cover. So they started with 2 slips of Gully. Sinclair at Gully, backward point, and Thorne will bowl the first delivery of the 4th morning. Whipped away nicely. And straight away, Ashwin Ned is off the mark.
Good shot there from Ned, just using that piece, getting in line of the ball and just working it down to the fielder down that fine leg, Matthew Nandu.
Can't help but talk about the leadership, Leon, of missing someone like a Leon Johnson, who was really a pioneer for West Indies cricket and Guyana's cricket. Played some 9 test matches. Really didn't kick on in his test career. We'll break as we get back to that. Tuckett straight as an arrow. Just punched it up to Vasami Pomal. 6 ODIs for the West Indies. Total of 127 first-class matches. 6,741 runs. 189 being his highest score. 7 centuries and 42 half centuries. And when you look at those stats, you say he's a much better player. And in the respect, he should have maybe scored a lot more hundreds, really. But really one of the top leaders in the Caribbean. Tuckett driving a full toss, low full toss for 4. Gone past Tej Chandapal and into the boundary now. Hits the rope for 4. Stayed low on it.
Yeah, simple shot there for Tuckett. Just all timing. Full toss from Thorne. Gets his first boundary of the morning. Tuckett really looked good yesterday. And he want to get some runs to his name. To show a bit of resistance for the academy.
One for the future. He's back and slapping this down to the backward point fielder.
I think it's not too long before we see a short ball from Thorne. That caused a lot of problems for a lot of these academy batters yesterday. Would have hit MBK Joseph in the helmet. Would have gotten Joshua Bishop caught deep backward square with that short ball.
Colin Boyne Tuckett, a natural athlete, Leon. Started at the Charleston Secondary School as one of the top young sprinters in the island of Nevis, which have produced some 6 test players, both in the 100 meters, 200 meters. Very, very, very young, promising athlete in an early age. Followed in the footsteps of his mother, who is really a cricket fanatic. And his dad would have played for the West Indies in ODI and is now an official first-class umpire. Still yet to get up the ranks. He's not been fast-track. Carl Tuckett worked away and getting an easy single. So good cricket here by Colin Boyne Tuckett wearing the number 10. But his glove work has come on in leaps and bounds. And had it not been for COVID, it might have played a lot more matches when the Under-19 World Cup was held in the Caribbean in 2022. But as somebody who is really moving through the ranks quietly. Parents have made some huge investment, along with people like Elvis Howard and company. Went to India for a camp, has been around, and they continue to dream for the young man. And he's almost on the verge, based on his glove work. You've seen some, he's really just gone to leaps and bounds, despite the competition. First he would have had Leonardo Julian, then he would have had Rivaldo Clark, but he's taking the mantle whenever he's given his opportunity. Sometimes he might have been in a system of academy where you have to share, but he's really been the talking point of the Caribbean at the meantime.
So it's going to be Ali Mohammed to start us off from the media center end. Not seen Ali Mohammed pitch up a ball yesterday. He was in a aggressive sort of mood. Was really trying to execute his short balls and his 4-over spell yesterday. Got the wicket of MBK Joseph with that wonderful catch that Kimo Savory took.
Think he will continue the same way, Leon. Don't think he's going to change.
The field that he has here is a deep backward square and a fine leg.
Tuckett is stylishly backing across and punching it up to Matthew Nandu. Score in the meantime goes to 167 for 7. 41 overs bowled by the Guyana Harper Eagles. And when you have spin in your armory, you certainly will get the overs in. Again, we see Tavin Imla at second slip or wide third slip. It's really not in the first slip position. And I'd really love, Leon, to have a conversation to try and understand the method to the madness. And I know somebody's going to tell me, well, it's a new time. But traditionally, if you understand cricket, cricket is older than all of us. You've always been told, especially when I was a coach, you're at first slip or you're not at first slip.
Yeah, there's pretty much no first slip in place with Kevin Anderson being, as you rightfully said, around second slip. And I'm not really sure what's the idea behind it.
I've had a talk, Leon, and they've always told me, oh, we got a good keeper. And I'm saying, you're taking a big risk. You're taking a big risk. And it has happened before. Everybody's tried it. You can't try to compensate.
A bit straighter from Ali Mohammed this time. Happy Eagles want to get this game done and dusted with in this session.
Maybe you want to go to Pigeon Point or one of the beaches here in Antigua and Barbuda and get a good soak. Maybe even move around and see the island. Tonight is a busy night in the English Harbour area. Lots of spots in Antigua and Barbuda where you can enjoy yourself.
Nicely played to tuck it down to mid-off. No run though.
Talking about fast tracking of umpires. We always tend to want to encourage players to become officials and get into umpiring, but sometimes it could be the motivator factor if you're maybe not moving. Driven again down the ground. So made over here by Ronaldo Ali Mohammed. More or less just gentle medium, but he's done his job. It's bowler made over. West Indies Academy lost wickets at 11, 16, 21, 22, 27, 67, 125 and 159. And it was Torn the Tormentor who really unsettled the batsman in the West Indies Academy.
Yeah, I really liked the way that he approached it yesterday afternoon. They would have declared just before tea and to pick up 3 wickets before, as well as to retire MK Joseph. I think it took a special effort from Thorne. On a day 3 wicket as well to be getting the kind of pace that he did. Though that this wicket has shown that there's not really much, not really any demon in it really.
Somebody woke up Thorne yesterday, and maybe through the little WhatsApp messages they might have been trying to tell Thorne, man, we're gonna beat you today, and Thorne said, okay. Well, let me send this message very early o'clock.
He lives for the challenges, Isaiah Thorne.
He does.
Once he runs in to bowl from the CIU road end to Ashmead Ned. And Ned gets off strike. Doing the right thing is Ashmead Ned, just giving Tuckett the majority of the strike. Getting that single early on in the over. Seems to be a good plan put in place from the West Indies Academy.
I think in Thorne's development, I would like to hope that someone would work on getting him a stint in England. Maybe, there were days when you had players who would go to the MCC, or even not England, if he gets an opportunity to go to South Africa. I think we have to start branching out to get our young cricketers out into different avenues, away from the Caribbean for 6 months so that they can understand the culture, understand the method, what it's going to be like to be a professional cricketer, the work that you have to put in.
I think you see a lot of fast bowlers especially go to England for some time and come back a much better player.
But if you want to learn your cricket, then that's the place where you have to go.
I think Alzari Joseph would have had some stints in England with in county cricket, and since Alzari's come back he's been so much better as a test bowler. We always knew that he had the white ball ability, but his test match cricket, his red ball cricket has improved so much. Kemar Roach obviously spends a lot of time in England as well with Surrey. Shannon Gabriel would have played in England for some time as well.
But if we follow back from, I can talk from the Leeward Islands, you'd have had someone like AME Roberts, Andy Roberts and Sir Viv, who went to Alfgova. And then if you look around the pattern and you see in those days, you would have had Clive Lloyd, the Desmond Haynes, the Gordon Greenwich, the Larry Gomes, the Malcolm Marshall, the Joel Garners. And at one point in time, we had close to like 25 cricketers, Bernard Julian and company, who would have played in England. But what automatically happened, Leon, is that when the England Cricket Board closed that door, we really didn't respond to figure out how we were going to get our players into another system. We had players who went to Australia, the Vivs and the company would have played in Australia, played in England, but we really didn't respond after they closed that door in England. It's still even a challenge to get players even to go to England and to play in, the real quality cricket that you really want to play. You have to, the requirements is that you have to play maybe sometimes 5 first-class games. And that sometimes could become a challenge, and he just keeps moving all the time. So I'm thinking that we could look into new avenues, new areas, look to get players to New Zealand, a couple of our young players to South Africa, to Australia. And it doesn't have to be, it could be first-grade cricket in Australia. There are so many cricketers from Barbados who are playing in Australia. Thanks to Roland Butcher, who would have set that up. In fact, 1 run came off the first delivery. Over completed 168 for 7. Jordan Johnson top scoring 54 or 77 deliveries. Callum Boyne took it 39 from 78. Thorne 3 for 39 from his 10. Ashmin Ned will be in strike to Ronaldo Ali Mohammed. So good morning to Vinod. Morning, Vin.
Yeah, good morning, Springs. Always good to be in your company. The mayor of Buckley's, they tell me.
Buckley's. Maybe might have been Bass there. That has changed now. Worked into the onside is Ned. Ned has just improved as an overall cricketer. Every time I see him, I see a transformation in a young man who he wants this to be his life.
Yeah, he's lost some weight as well. He seems very focused on his cricket. And as you rightly said, Vernon, he sees this as his profession.
Yes.
And he's preparing well for it.
Another one who is also seeing this game as his profession as well is Callum Boyne Tuckett.
Seems well organized, Tuckett. I've been very impressed with his wicket keeping during this series so far. Saw him at Warner Park when the academy defeated the Leeward Islands, and he was very, very sharp indeed. But what he's doing here is what everyone wants to see. You want to see him add some runs to that dimension of his play now.
Good short delivery from Ali Mohammed. Well played by Ashmin Ned, who was also improved in his batting. The major concern, Vinod, is, we have to get a psychologist. We have to get somebody around the young boys so that we start to get them to think big. I think sometimes they're just within their own little zone. Beautiful shot. Paddled around. Didn't have a lot of pace. It was outside the line, and all he had to do was just use the bat and good control there by Ned to be able to keep it down to Thorn on the fine leg boundary area.
Yeah, basically just guiding it there, Ned. Again, the piece of Ronaldo, Ali Mohammed, not troubling him. And Ali Mohammed, if you take a close look at him, you'll realize that whatever piece he gets onto the ball, whatever strength he puts in, comes from his shoulders more than anything else. The run, he seems to shuffle to the crease, which is never a good sign.
No. Good positive on-drive from Callum Boyne Tuckett down to Versami Permol. Got into the right position, turned his hips, and just stroked it up the V. But he has looked positive this morning. 2 test bowlers at mid-on, mid-off, Moti and Permol. Ali Mohammed to Tuckett, short, and Tuckett is keeping this one down to Shanda Paul.
And this is good batting here from Tuckett. He's very aware of where the fielders are. And twice in the over, he was able to just keep it down. Just roll that wrist over the shot and keep it down. One went to Thorn, who is at long leg, and the other went to Imlak, who has found himself way down on the boundary at square leg.
In fact, that was Shanda Paul.
Shanda Paul, sorry. So he is not just playing shots for playing shots' sake. He understands what is happening, and he's very aware. And awareness at the crease is so important.
Yeah, so the Ghana Happy Eagles, they'll be looking to wrap this up, but the West Indies Academy, they would have other ideas, and so far, Ned and Tuckett has looked very much assured.
Speaking about wrap it up, did get a goat roti wrapped this morning at Epicurean.
You did?
Have you tried it?
You had a goat.
Goat roti.
Wow, pretty interesting.
Uh,
You know, Vinod, you always find some things. All over here is Tuckett driving, squeezing off of the outside edge of Sinclair. Just diving away. And he was able to pick up a single. Parried it more or less.
a good effort there by Sinclair, and again applauded by Thorn. Thorn finding the edge of the bat, it just did not carry. And
Can I see that again?
timing his dive nicely.
Can I see that again, Leon? I just wanted to see what. All right, I don't think his left foot got close enough to the ball. It was like the hands went. He was rehearsing on the other end. So it's something he's going to have to work on, especially with Thorn, because Thorn can bowl a lovely outswinger. Got to be very careful about that.
Once he pitches up, he gets movement. No doubt about that.
Ooh, that had some gas on it. Ned is working very, very quickly.
Yeah, well, that delivery down the leg side would not trouble the batsman. Definitely didn't trouble Ned. It was like putting regular gas into a diesel engine. It didn't make sense.
Well, he's coming, he's prompting, he's pushing himself. What are they doing now? They're thinking about, are they bringing up the fielder from deep backward square? Is it Moti? Into a leg slip? All right. Okay, so they most likely will be going body line to Ned. Yes.
That's much better. So finding his
Radar.
rhythm nicely here this morning, and really coming through. The ball is coming nicely out of his hands here. Thorn. That was quick, that last delivery. Strong man, Thorn.
It's just
Yes.
amazing how Guyana, Vinod, have just found some venom to produce some fast bowlers. Some of the clubs have been really investing.
Well, I heard that you made a comment yesterday that, we have to have scouts going around the region looking at the players. And Thorn was spotted by Roland Butcher. Now, before Roland Butcher became a West Indies selector, he's no longer a West Indies selector. Before he became a West Indies selector, he was hired by the Berbice Cricket Board to do a coaching stint in Guyana, and he unearthed this young man. So the talent is there, just about unearthing it and bringing it forward and channeling the talent into the right direction.
the Barbados Cricket Club has done a lot for cricket in Guyana because they also invited Andy Roberts and Sir Curtly Ambrose for fast bowling stints as well in Guyana. So
But they might have also done some work with him, but he was first spotted by Roland Butcher. Hats off to Roland. So that he recently celebrated his birthday. Very good friend of mine. A fellow commentator.
yes,
Roland
yes, he is.
made his debut for England, I think it was back in 1981. And on debut at Trent Bridge, forced away on the offside, therefore won.
No ball by Thorne.
Created a record. On debut, he had the fastest ODI 50. I think it was a pedestrian effort. If you, we always joke about it. If you think about it now, I think it took all of 37 balls.
Servant for cricket. Has done a lot for Barbados cricket. Is now moving into the realization of, in fact, they've established through the Barbados Royals a women's program, girls in sports program in Barbados. If you're wondering what's happening, you're viewing the West Indies Championship 2024 live at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. Here is Ned just whipping this one off of his hip. Maybe Thorne overcompensating for that no ball that he would have bowled. Overcomes to an end. And so the score quickly goes up to 177 for a 7 at the end of 45. And, you know, I was saying to you, Vinod, I could remember, it seems like a long time ago, but Benson and Hedges sponsored some cricket camps where they used to go around. This is where the first time I would have maybe met Sir Garfield Sobers. You had Lance Gibbs, you had, you know, Reverend Wes Hall, a couple of those guys who came to St. Kitts and Nevis at Warner Park.
Well,
identified the talent, you know, picked out folks.
Under that Benson and Hedges series, I remembered when they rolled around to Trinidad, they held a camp at Dubison Park in St. Madeleine, and I visited. I was a budding young fast bowler, and after 2 deliveries, Sir Andy told me, "You'll become a better commentator." I took his advice. Didn't I, Bernard? Well, it's a lovely shot, straight down the ground. And it's like it's going to pull up just a few yards before the boundary.
Yeah, I thought he checked the shot. He didn't really go right through with it.
Yep, it was like a golf chip. Saturday morning here in Antigua, so Viv would be happy with a shot like that up in the greens.
Oh, Sir Richie.
Yes, you told me that Sir Viv, Sir Richie,
Eldin Baptist.
Eldin Baptist plays golf daily.
In fact, Zari is a real good golfer as well.
Wow.
Hayden Walsh is also one of the avid golfers.
Well, Hayden Walsh actually, as this is hiked away into the boundary for 4 down at wide-ish long on. Again, it looked as if Ned was still checking that shot.
His head up in the air against it.
Yeah, head in the air, high up, and it just cleared mid-on. Actually, 2 weeks ago, Hayden Walsh won a golf invitational tournament in St. Kitts.
Yes. Hayden is very, very, very much active in that aspect, and it's a wonderful game to play, Vinod. The only reason why I'm not as consistent is that I don't like to lose. So, and the hammering that you get when you go on the Cedar Valley Golf Course or Jacktown or wherever around the world, those guys, when they beat upon you, trust me, you get it's even worse than in cricket.
Speaking about golf, let's say good morning to Zeke.
Yeah.
Friend of mine in St. Kitts. You would know Zeke.
Oh yes.
Very good golfer.
The mayor of Connery.
That's the man, the mayor of Connery. Good morning to Zeke.
You know, Brian Charles Lara plays real excellent golfer as well too. So too is his brother
Richard.
Richard, Lara, wonderful gentleman.
Yeah,
Richard,
he has a golf tour. Takes people around the world playing golf. Just recently they
took Zeke
visited
to India.
Vietnam.
He took Zeke to India.
Yeah, Zeke went with him to India. But just recently, about a month ago, he was in Vietnam with a group of golfers. This is pulled away imperiously for 6.
Wow.
Lovely shot there by Ned.
He was waiting for that one. He was hammered. And he was also hammered by Ned over deep backward square.
I think Ronaldo, Ali Mohammed would learn fast, pretty quickly, that he should go back to his old ways of pitching the ball up, looking to do something off the seam, as he has been doing in the early stages of this tournament. He got 5 wickets against the Leeward Islands in the loss there, and he got his wickets by pitching the ball up.
But I'm going to tell you a story, Vinod. The first cricketer I've ever seen come out to warm up with 12 golf balls. Who do you think that person is?
Sir Viv.
Yeah, right at Warner Park, I was the most nervous wreck. And he said to me, young man, don't worry about anything. All I want you to do is just, and they were different color golf balls. Just throw the ball to me. Don't worry about anything. And in those days, Warner Park was set up, Vinod, where when you once you hit the ball, you had the terrace with the concretes there on the bleachers. So you'd hit the wall and you'd have to turn around and catch it very quickly.
Yeah.
It was nerve-wracking. But I'll give you the story as to why it was nerve-wracking, Vinod. So I started at the Leeward Islands senior level as a trainer. And in those days, you would have had more or less the competition or the rivalry between St. Kitts and Nevis and Antigua and Barbuda. So I've been a young boy coming up into the system, all sorts of things going through your mind. Boy, suppose you throw the ball and it hit Viv, and you know what the people are going to say, because it was always intense. Whenever Viv came to Antigua, St. Kitts and Nevis, you always had this build up, the spectators, everybody was chirping, who was supposed to get picked, who didn't get picked. But trust me, it was the first time I've seen anybody warm up. And it was just with 12 golf balls.
Oh, that is down, and then pulls his down behind the backward square. Chanderpaul is there. You see him advancing. Ronaldo, Andy Mohammed continues to bowl short here. With all due respect to him, I don't think he has the pace to really worry these batsmen. He should just go back to doing what he does best, which is swing the ball, seam the ball as well.
I think it's a ploy, Vinod.
It's a definite ploy.
Kevin Imla is involved in the ploy. He set the field for that.
Yeah, but whereas Ned is taking him up, Carlton Bowen is not.
Think we'll get another short ball? Oh, that's got to be a no ball. He was outside of the... I'd like to see that, Leon. He was wide of the return crease there.
Yeah, I think he did cut it.
Yes, man.
Let's have a look.
Somebody didn't see that one. Look.
Yeah, he's definitely...
Oh, wow. That was close there.
That was as close as St. Kitts is to Antigua.
Yeah.
Say good morning to Marley Richards. How is Marley and the lawn tennis these days, Vernon?
You mean how is Marley and the golf?
He says it's non-existent. He's now on the golf course, isn't he? He tells me that Sir Viv is his caddy.
90 for 7. Marley was just a natural sportsman. Excellent footballer. Anything to do with the ball.
Yep.
Just give him.
I believe he played lawn tennis as well for
Yeah,
Antigua.
of course.
Yes.
It was right up there with the best in the region.
I remember asking Sir Viv about Marley's tennis. I think I'll have to respond off air with what he said.
Richard Berridge was a good golfer too.
Yeah, Berridge told me this. Actually, we were having fun with Berridge in the last round in St. Kitts, and Berridge said that he beat Zeke on the golf course, and he pushed away on the offside, quick single. No, it's not there, and I told Zeke this. I said, man, Berridge said that he beat you in a round of golf. Carlisle Powell, who was there at the time, witnessing the conversation, said that had to be when Zeke was sleeping. So then I went back to Berridge. I said, man, you're not telling the truth. And then all of a sudden, Berridge sends a photo on my phone where he represented the country at golf.
No, he was an excellent golfer.
He
played OECS golf. Yeah.
He also told me that, Powell told me that Burridge was also an avid musician.
He's an engineer.
Wow.
He's one of the top musician engineers. In fact, his uncle, Adrian Lamb, coming out of the Toucan Band days, was one of the real top musicians in St. Kitts and Nevis in the wider part of the Caribbean. To the point that even when you had the music festival, he was the sound engineer guy. Rich has come from a natural, not only sporting family, because if you follow the history of St. Kitts cricket over the years, you've got the Burridge. So you had a Burridge Howell Trophy series.
I think it's going to restart.
I wish it would.
Definitely. I think they're about to celebrate independence. And I was hearing a talk in the press box that that clash is going to take place again in Nevis.
I've been hearing that for some time now, Vinod. So when it happens, I will certainly welcome it back. And you know, it's strange, Vinod, because here you have a company, the TDC group of companies, the Belgian Howard would have formed this company, who comes every year and say, in our budget, we have money for this game. It's just for both associations, be it St. Kitts or Nevis, to get together and make it happen. But for some strange reason, Vinod, I can't tell you, it's just not happened for a long time.
Yeah, well, actually, I think there's a date set for it in the air. And I think Thorn would get his 4th wicket.
Now, that is a nothing shot. He was not in position. It didn't bounce. He didn't get up.
It was too straight at him as well.
Yeah, and he was looking for more height. Colin Boyne took it. He'd be very disappointed in himself. It sort of stopped on him, Vinod.
Well, if you're playing that shot, Vernon, as you look at the replay, if you're playing that shot, you want to sway just in outside the line and then go through with the shot. That was actually aiming for straight at his forehead. It was as straight as a needle. Look at it.
But look at the length.
Yep.
Yeah, it
wasn't there for the shot.
And it didn't bounce enough either for him to be able to control that.
During play this morning, he looked so solid. And,
and then the one time. So Colin Boyne took it, goes, Torn gets his man. He'll be looking for 5 now. He's got 4 for 45.
But 2 things this morning, if you're looking on at the play, and you would realize more they're not going to get 429 to win this match.
No way.
But there were 2 things that you were looking at with the future in mind. You wanted to see if Tuckett could have gone on to probably get 100.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Past his 50 and go on to 100.
That's the mindset.
And also you wanted to see if young Thorn would have gotten 5 wickets. Well, Thorn is doing that. He's going towards it now. He has 4.
Yeah.
And if
there's a likely chance with Lane coming out that he can get 5.
Yeah, if I know Johan Lane any bit, I'll tell you he's going to play shots on ball 1.
He's going to go.
So he's going to give him a chance.
Kevlin Anderson is coming up. He's in Lane's ear already. Anything pitched up? Lane says anything pitched up, he's going. I think he's going to get a first-up bumper from around the wicket, which is almost like on his blind side.
Well, there's a second slip in place and a 4th slip. There's no first and no third. In fact, Imlach is standing close to first slip. Look where Imlach is standing. Oh, this is it. He's going to play his shots. I think Thorn would love that. That signal wide. A bit harsh, though.
Yeah, that's late. It's also late, too. Pi will tell me that he's in the middle.
Well, Ned has called him down to probably tell him, take your time. There is a lot of time remaining in this match.
I don't know if...
And we're only 237 away.
I don't know if Lane knows that. Lane is almost like a Joshua Bishop. When they move into high gear, they just go and they keep going. Just keep going. That's the issue sometimes that you have. So good morning to Right Honorable Excellency Basil Morgan in Montserrat. You've been to Montserrat, Vinod?
No, I haven't been.
When you come back and you get some more time, we got to get you over there.
Is it far from here?
No. We can take
Is there a ferry?
SVG Air, and we'll get you over there in 10 minutes, under 10 minutes. There's also a ferry as well, too. The Montserrat government is invested in a ferry for some time. But I just feel that more needs to be happening in terms of the sport aspect between Montserrat and Antigua and Barbuda. There's no cricket season in Montserrat, and there should be no reason why a Montserrat team should not be playing in the competition in Antigua and Barbuda. Over comes to an end.
It's the end of good over there from Thorne, getting 4 wickets, and he'll be really fancying his chances of completing that 5.
You look around as to the talent pool that is in Montserrat. You have folks like Zawandi White, Joshua Grant, Jemuel KB, fast emerging as one of the young guys. Tevel Rodney. They've got a cadre of young cricketers. They've got some cricketers who also went off to England. Damian Williams, fast bowler, was in the Leeward Islands setup, who didn't get an opportunity for 2 years, didn't get an opportunity to play even a first-class game for the Leeward Islands. He's now playing in Australia. In fact, maybe he might be returning back home. Shanishi Brittany Hector, one of the women's cricketers from Antigua and Barbuda, she had a stint in Australia as well. She's heading out to St. Kitts today for the Leeward Islands women's camp. So you got some young talent, but it's just to be able to get the talent into a place where they can play. Shernal Bones, I understand, is over here playing for club. Stevel Rodney playing for Bethesda. More changes. Pomal comes into the action. And so Savory's Tevin Imla has gone for his trump card. And you know, once you see Pomal on the ball, you know what is going to be happening. So we start with a slip, a silly point, short leg. Bat pad. Ned driving to cover for 4. Tossed up delivery. And Ned opened up. And maybe it will be some fun time now, because I don't think they're going to be hanging around. They're required to get another 233 more runs. Joined by, in a couple of seconds, by the voice. I have to call him the voice. Mally Richards.
Morning, Vernon. Morning to all the watchers, listeners here in the region and around the globe.
Maybe a little disappointed that Colin Boyne-Tuckett didn't get his half-century here this morning. Had a perfect platform.
Yeah, we were just speaking about it off air in terms of his 4th innings scores. Yeah. He seems to really come to the fore in the 4th innings of matches. Once again, though, maybe just losing that bit of concentration. The ball not quite short enough for the pull, in my opinion. Maybe just a bit of intimidation coming into play there.
What's happening here now? A lot of banter going on here. Now the umpire has to get involved. And he's saying to Ned, listen, I don't know if it was a cat and mouse game, so Ned decided, well, he was going to play this thing. A lot of banter taking place, Mali.
That's for sure. Neddy's well up for it here against his home nation. Hammers him down the ground through mid-on. Was probably looking to go aerial there, was Ashmead Ned.
Wow.
But made good contact anyway.
Somebody's packed up Ned here.
Yeah, he's looking to go after these guys, especially the spinners. We saw him take a liking to Ali Muhammad as well. It's just maybe just trying to send a bit of a message here.
You know, his father is also the assistant coach for the Guyana Happy Eagles team. Is he going to be out caught? Beautiful catch. Pomal has the last laugh.
He does in the end. Ned has to go. He goes for 30 of 27 deliveries. He's still there, head down at the crease. He hasn't moved just yet.
Poor shot selection.
Just the one man there on the leg side.
That's what we're talking about, Mali. The mindset, the thinking. What's the thinking?
I thought that was a well-judged catch from Isaiah Thorne, though.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Had to backpedal slightly, but took it very comfortably in the end. Quite nonchalantly, actually, in the end. 9 wickets down now for the West Indies Academy.
And by the shouting of Kelvin Pittman coming out, with some 41 minutes of play so far for the morning, I think that the folks who said that the game would finish in 3 days would have to buy drinks. Who are those folks, I wonder? I did tell you guys we have to come back for the 4th morning. 2:29 the academy would need. We got any English league games today, Mali?
I think we do, quite a few.
Antigua and Barbuda won yesterday 4-0. Very impressive. I think Liverpool should be
Liverpool
playing
and
today.
Chelsea in the Cup on Sunday. Carabao Cup final tomorrow. Today we got Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest, Brighton, Everton, Crystal Palace, Burnley, Man United, Fulham, Bournemouth, Man City, and Arsenal, Newcastle. So bumper day of Premier League football, English Premier League.
El Salvador defeated Turks and Caicos 7-0 yesterday. Antigua and Barbuda defeated Guyana 4-0 in the under-20. Canada defeated Dominica 8-0. Haiti defeated the Cayman Islands 4-1. Cuba defeated Anguilla 13-0.
Wow.
And then Trinidad and Tobago defeated St. Vincent in a close one 3-2. And Puerto Rico defeated St. Kitts and Nevis 5-0. Nicaragua defeated the Virgin Islands 8-0. Guatemala defeated Barbados 3-1. So, goals.
What do you make of that St. Kitts result? That's a bit surprising, no?
Yeah, under 20, but Puerto Rico is in the Spanish Mali. They're, you know, once you a powerhouse in English football, right, Mali? You know, the CONCACAF always sets you to play against the Spanish, the Costa Rica, the Panama, the Puerto Rico,
The Mexico.
Yeah, if you get out of that, and they rate you. But if you don't, you know what's happening. I mean, these little boys, they play football for life, Mali.
Yeah, but
They're touches.
we've grown accustomed to seeing St. Kitts probably be a bit more competitive, though, at that level.
Yeah, but 8-0 is a big one. Based on what I've been hearing, I like the look of the Antigua and Barbuda team. They seem to have some youngsters. In fact, they got one playing in the MLS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not sure if Drake Hadid's actually in this squad.
He too is also
Yeah,
another
he's
prospect.
at Aston Villa
Yeah, so
in England as well.
got a good coach for sure. Kerry Arab Skeppel.
Very experienced, top player in his
Top
time.
sportsman.
As well. Yeah.
Played for the West Indies under
15 in the inaugural under 15 World Cup.
Yeah.
First.
Was one of the real top all-rounders. You would have had a number of days, Mali, you and him, school cricket, Leeward Islands cricket, youth cricket, torn to Lane. Lane whips it, dropped by Perez. Sort of went off balance. He would have had to stick. He was moving. And Lane gets a chance. He gets 2 in the process.
It's something we've seen from Perez throughout this match, actually. When he's fielding, he doesn't remove the helmet, even when he goes a bit deeper. Not sure if that would have come into play there, affecting the vision, but it was hit quite well, but it should have been taken at this level.
Yeah.
Those catches have to be taken.
I think in this game we've seen the ground feeling needs to improve along with the catching.
It's quick again. Good pace. Actually floors Lane this time.
Oh, my. And I know Lane. Lane is the sort of individual, Mali, who has a lot of chat and a lot of banter. And Torn is maybe saying, I'm going to floor you this morning. In fact, Torn is thinking about getting 5 wickets. He's got 4 for 48. He's got to get 1 on the money. 1 on the money. Look at those stumps. No need to be expending your energy with a short ball. There you go.
This one's Lane ends up outside that leg stump, not quite getting into the line. You see him there, rehearse, just staying a bit leg side-ish.
Do you fault him, Mali?
I don't know. It's just different now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back in the day, we would call that actually
Running.
from a fast
From
bowler.
a fast bowler.
In 2024, it's called staying leg side of the ball.
Amazing. They need 227. Steering it. Down to the third man era. Anderson coming around. Cuts that off. I think they have Anderson down here more or less for the catch. Fly slip area.
We've seen a couple come down into that area. Actually, yesterday, Anderson was deposited there for the left-handed Joseph.
Did they run? They didn't run.
No, they didn't.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, tells me Calvin Pittman wants none of Isaiah Thorne.
Or
here
maybe,
this morning.
maybe Lane wants Thorne.
Yeah, that as well.
He now takes the single. So, couldn't understand why he never took the single before, but now takes it.
I mean,
Oh my, Thorne and Lane on the non-striker's head there. Fast bowlers, you like to see this like a banter.
former teammates as well.
Yeah. Thorne is saying, don't worry, I'm going to deal with you. Lane is saying, I'm going to catch you too.
Bit of banter between the two young fast bowlers there. Isaiah Thorne quite animated here this morning.
They'll get an opportunity to play for the West Indies one day. Pittman keeps out one.
Does well.
More than well. Local cricket taking place today around Antigua and Barbuda. 203 for 9, 49 overs bowled. Jordan Johnson top scored with 54. Callum Bowen took it. 43. He'll be kicking himself. Real platform today to, as Vinod said, to get himself a half century, get a not out. Maybe even get 100 based on how Ned was batting.
And it was a stroke out of the blue as well. He was looking so compact.
The banter.
He'd come back this morning. He'd set his stall out again. And as he said, just probably a bit intimidated by that pace.
The length of that.
Hostility from Thorne. Maybe a bit of premeditation coming into play there.
Of course, I think he was also looking for that short ball from Thorne too, which he really wanted to whack. But sometimes you have to forget that, take that out of your memory bank and say, not today, Thorne.
Permal hunting a second innings wicket here. That would wrap up this match for the Guyana Happy Eagles.
So we had Sinclair with 4 wickets, Thorne with 4. Somebody's searching to try to get 5. Don't know if Permal will allow Thorne to get that 5-wicket haul, but we'll find out. Here is Lane hitting this into the square leg area for 4. Thorne doesn't get there. He's got long levers, Lane, and he went for it hard.
I don't think he was trying to hit it quite as square as it ended up in the end, but hit quite well nonetheless.
Did.
Probably aiming more in that cow corner area. Ended up going down to the square leg boundary as we see a second man being deposited.
So there's no short leg, there's no silly point, just a slip.
It's Raymond Perez actually.
Yeah.
He goes back to deep backward square.
Let me see what will be the response from Lane if he's still going to go. Changes his mind, comes quietly forward. So, don't think he's going to get caught like Ned.
I think he'll take it on though.
You think so?
Regardless, yeah.
Okay.
We haven't seen much different from these West Indies Academy batters here in the second innings. They've continued to play shots throughout.
They tend to go hard all the time. So, England making a fight back, as you rightly said, Mali.
Yeah, I actually missed last night. I was so tired. I just went straight to bed when I got home. So, haven't been able to follow actually day 2 at all.
He gives him out.
Oh.
That was, to me,
Seems like umpire Ramdani was ready for lunch, to be honest.
serious.
Yeah, that's missing. big time. I don't think that's hitting the second set of stumps there on the leg. Maybe just clipping a second set.
To me, it looked like it was pitched outside the line of the leg stump.
Yeah, that as well. It seems like it pitched outside and kept on going.
So, the Guyana Harpy Eagles have won this game per mall, finishing with 2 for 48. They won by 221 runs. 221 runs. They're celebrating.
It's a massive win, a big win for the Guyana Harpy Eagles.
Yeah, 51 minutes into the morning's work play.
Day
means
4.
that some people won't get lunch today. The players will. Well, certainly they'll have to feed the groundsmen, for sure.
I think they'll have to feed everyone, Brian.
I like that.
But full points for the Guyana Harpy Eagles here, as we see both teams coming together now. Just to exchange a few handshakes, a few daps, a few big ups, as we say here. It's good to see everyone's come through this match as well, healthy as possible. No real major injuries as well. It's good to see. Disappointing performance though from the West Indies Academy, especially with bat in hand. And even yesterday on day 3, the way they came out with the ball really didn't have the penetration required. Also seemed quite aimless, devoid of plans. And it was there in which Kevin Sinclair really came to the fore.
I think the mindset also, Mali, of the West Indies Academy, I know they've missed their captain Naeem Young, but for some particular reason, you know, the tactics just won't clear. Even in the field placings, you know, even in the approach in their batting, how they went about the game. And I know you were talking about Mali, about them going hard all the time, but they got to change they've missed a number of batsmen. You know, the Kevlin Andersons, the McKenzies, you know, and I don't think that they have replaced them. And so that's an area of concern which they're going to have to seriously deal with.
Well, also, I think Akeem O'Geese, he's one of the players who would have been one of the first inductees into this program alongside Anderson and Clark. And so far, he hasn't really taken on the added responsibility. They'll be looking to him as well to actually show all the experience and all the work that he's been doing over the last couple of seasons also. It's about time that, you know, he comes to the fore.
Yeah. Even Bishop, I think Bishop is going to have to work a lot more harder on his game in terms of what's going on. They're going to need the support systems because Cricket West Indies can do so much, Mali. It's now going to boil down to the players themselves to get the right personnel. And one of my major concerns I have, Mal, is when they leave Antigua and Barbuda and they go back home to their territories, are they getting that support system that is required to help them to develop their game? That is the major concern.
I think also what they can take away is the experience of the environment here at the CCG. When they do go back home, they try and foster that, try and create that little environment themselves as well, because they would have picked up quite a bit of knowledge here, quite a bit of experience. That's something they can also take back, not only for themselves, but for younger players back home in their territories as well.
Yeah, so it's a hunting ground. We're going to have a break, as you rightly said, Mali. Let's look at, I think I got my fixture somewhere. So we let the folks know what's going to be happening. There's going to be a break now from this competition. The break will start from February 26th to March 9th. So the next time that you will be hearing our voices here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground will be on the 13th of March, when the West Indies Academy will be taking on the Jamaica Scorpions right here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. In fact, you'll also have Trinidad and Tobago Red Force versus the Windward Islands at Queen's Park Oval. Combined campuses and colleges versus the Leeward Islands at Diego Martin Regional Complex. And then you have the Guyana Harpy Eagles versus the Barbados Pride at the Sir Frank Worrell Cricket Ground. And then we move on to the next one, which will start from the 20th to the 23rd. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force versus Barbados Pride. That's a big one, as you would say. Sanford would say at the Queen's Park Oval. Leeward Islands versus the Jamaica Scorpions at Diego Martin Regional Complex. Guyana Harpy Eagles versus the Windward Island Volcanoes at the Sir Frank Worrell Cricket Ground. And at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, the West Indies Academy will take on the combined campuses and colleges. Then there's a break from March 25th to April 6th because we'll be getting ready for the Cricket West Indies under 15, which will be right here in Antigua and Barbuda. They come back for the final round of matches, which will start on April 10th. Yes, April 10th. You go back to Sabina Park, Jamaica Scorpions versus Guyana Harpy Eagles at Sabina Park. Combined campuses and colleges versus Trinidad and Tobago Red Force at Chedwin Park. I think there might be a change. Leeward Islands is supposed to be taking on Barbados Pride at Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. And West Indies Academy versus the Windward Island Volcanoes at Coolidge Cricket Ground. I think the game at Sir Vivian Richards Stadium might be changed, but don't hold me to that. Then we go on to the final round of matches, which will be April 17th to the 20th. Jamaica Scorpions versus Trinidad and Tobago Red Force at Sabina Park. Combined campuses and colleges versus Guyana Harpy Eagles at Kensington. Leeward Islands versus the Windward Island Volcanoes at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. And the West Indies Academy versus the Barbados Pride. Mali, your thoughts on this game and where do we go from here?
Well, from a Guyana Harpy Eagles perspective, there's been a lot of chatter going on, even leading up to this match, about team selection and maybe just a bit of infighting going on in the setup. But they've answered all the critics here at the CCG. They've really hit back. They've looked to their experienced players, their international players, and a Kevin Sinclair picking up 6 wickets in the match and scoring his maiden first-class 100. From a West Indies Academy perspective, a little disappointed with what I've seen from them. They're still young, still forging their way in their careers, and I think they probably just got to go back to the drawing board a little bit in terms of their approach. Especially from the batters, the art of constructing an innings. Here they contributed a bit too much to their own downfall.
Well, when I look at the Guyana Harpy Eagles team, they would have been inspired by Kevin Sinclair. And looking in the last couple of days, even from Sinclair scoring that big 100, you saw a more upbeat Guyana Harpy Eagles team. Also, you have to bear in mind that they are the defending champions. And so pride is at stake. With the experience of their test players, you have Moti, Sinclair, Permal, Tejan Ryan Chandapal coming back. You know, they really lifted their game and took it to a next level. The break now is going to be a period of time. I don't think they would have loved the break coming up, Mali. They would have maybe want to continue this momentum going into the next game. But such is life. There's a break. You have to respect that. And I think it will give them some time, those who have niggles, to go back home and get themselves sorted out. The academy, they have to improve on their fielding and catching. And compared to the standard that they set last season, this year so far, they've not been on the money. They would have also missed their captain, Naim Young, who, if Naim Young had played in this game, would have been a different ball game with his skills, because he would have brought his white ball skills on this track, especially to the Guyana batsman. But that's history. They now have to go back to the drawing board. They have 2 weeks off, which I'm sure that they will be working hard to get themselves organized. You rightly said, the O'Gees, the Bishop, the senior pros in the West Indies Academy team, they now have to understand this is what they have around. Worrell is a young man who I've got some time for, but I hope that he does not make the same mistake that he made again. He has to understand this is red ball cricket. This is 4-day cricket. This is preparing you for the test level. If you're not interested in playing test cricket, then you quietly tell Mr. Vinod Banchan, listen, I just prefer to play white ball cricket. But if you come into the system, then you have to adapt, you have to learn, and you have to understand and read the game to know what is going to be happening around you. So I want to wish all of the guys all of the best as they take a break. And as he rightly said, Mali, a lot of folks came to here injury-free. Let's hope that they can be able to go on from strength to strength. Some other positives, we saw Callum Boyne tuck it in this game. He will go back to the drawing board and know that he has to work harder on his batting. His glove work has been good, and we just want to be able to wish all of the guys all the best. As we